Georgia Bama College Football National Championship rematch. I think rematch of our rematches. You have Alabama, who beat Georgia at the time when they were the number one ranked college football team in the SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, when you have two juggernaut teams, I won't say most of the time. Sometimes when you have two juggernaut teams play each other, if it's not in the SEC championship, it may be early into the college football season. So whichever team
Mm-hmm.
moves, they still got time to build themselves back up into the college football rankings.
Mm-hmm.
But going into the SEC championship, both teams have a full body of work. At that point in time, Georgia was undefeated. Alabama had only lost to Texas A&M at that point. They played, they
Mm-hmm.
could pick this up. Alabama beats them 41-24. Everybody's like, what's going on? Obviously, there's that stigma of Nick Saban and Alabama just having the card of Coach Smart and the Georgia
I
Bulldogs.
got $100 on Alabama.
Troll. Yeah. All right. So my question to you, Coach Johnson, and to all y'all, how would y'all go about? How much stock would you put in looking at film from the past,
None.
film from what they did in their last college, what they
They
did in
are
their
who we
last
thought they
playoff
were.
game?
They get to big games and they choke. I'm counting on the same thing. Georgia, this happened with Georgia every year. The year they had Nick Chubb,
Mm-hmm.
the year they had Sony Michel was supposed to be the year. And every single year, whether it's the year they had the little racist quarterback, Jake Fromm, he didn't do shit. He ain't shit in the league. He ain't
Mm-hmm.
home, bro. Like, it's every year it's, oh, they're going to run the SEC. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Bro, no, they're not. They're going to crumble when you need them the very most. They will crumble and let you down.
For the most part, the conversation we was having earlier about just looking at the board, like, oh, they got all the NFL number one picks in Georgia in their defense, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the most part, against everybody they play up until Alabama, it looks like talent to talent, they're gonna wipe through whatever team. But for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, when it comes to Alabama, and they were beating Alabama in this game. Alabama didn't walk through them 41-24. That Alabama were down for a large part of this game for the SEC
Mm-hmm.
championship before they eventually came back and Bryce Young went off and went on to win the Heisman. Um, yeah, Coach Johnson, like if you looking at film, if you're on the staff, you got Bill O'Brien there for whatever reason. um, like how much stock are you putting into all the film that you got? What are you like putting an attention to detail in terms of all the film you've been able to accumulate on this team? Whether you're on Alabama side and you already feel like
Uh,
they are who we think they are, or whether you're Georgia and you trying to, why the hell did they beat us?
yeah, I mean, I think both coaching staffs will go back to the SEC championship game, try to figure out what we're right, what we're wrong, to try to reassess the game. But I'll agree with John Hart here again. Um, I don't see Georgia being able to overtake Alabama because where Georgia is strong, Alabama doesn't play through that, right? So as far as who Georgia has, as far as being the big names who are going to be draft picks, they are people who are front seven or in the middle of the defense. And Alabama's able to win on the outside, right? Now they do have one corner who may end up being a top 100 player, but um, Alabama has guys who are going to be top 50 players on the outside, and so Jameson Williams is going to be a number one first round draft pick. And then Bryce Young, if he were coming out this year, would be the number one draft pick in the NFL. So um, where Alabama is strong, where they're able to attack, Georgia's not strong at as far as their defense. And then as far as Georgia's offense, they're mediocre like they've always been. And so and Alabama has a strong enough defense to stop that. So um, I'm sure that Nick Saban, Bill O'Brien, and Coach Doug Marrone will go back and look at, hey, where can we improve things and all that. Kirby Smart might try to figure out ways to stop the Alabama offense with the talent he has, but I don't see it happening. They don't have the horses to keep up with Alabama in the right positions.
Do you get rid of Kirby Smart if he loses?
No, no, Kirby, no. They spent I think 9 years with the previous coach. I forgot the guy's name. Mark Ritt. They spent like 9 years with Mark Ritt, who had them, uh, always kind of, somewhat playing around with the top of the SEC, but they can never get over the hump. But now, I mean, with Kirby Smart, you've at least been in the conversation for the past 3 or 4 years with him. They always get quality recruiting classes, and so with Kirby Smart, you at least could give yourself a chance. It's hard to even be in the conversation to compete. So they're in the conversation to compete with Alabama. They're in the national championship game for the second time against Alabama, and so no, you don't get rid of Kirby Smart. To be where they are, hey, you got to keep hacking at it. Who knows? We just talked about this earlier on in the podcast. There's who knows where the ball
I know,
can go and all this stuff. I'm just saying that hey,
bro. We all know
there's
where
a
this is
chance.
going, bro. Either you like
But I'm saying
mediocrity, you
there's
like
always a chance
second
though.
every year, or you want to win, bro.
I
Kirby
think
Smart
it's
ain't it.
I think it's more. So,
Bruh.
I think whether or not you get rid of Kirby Smart, I think it's not
Hmm.
rooted in whether they win or lose.
It's a mentality.
Obviously, if
that
they
joint.
win, they keep them. But whether or not, it's more so how they lose if they lose. If they
Yeah,
get
man, they lose
if
some
they
heart
get
wrenchers,
like
bro.
body slammed, I think people gonna be like, look, like we just gonna have to like build back up from the bottom and figure this out. But at the same time, it's like, bro, what you gonna get mad at the coach because he can't beat Alabama? Look around. Who else can
I'm
beat
just saying again, how many of those coaches are around?
Exactly.
Are you really going to try to go through the carousel of coaches again just so you can try to get here to get a chance? This is your second national championship in what, 4 years
Like
that
without
you're playing in? I mean, good God, no, don't get rid of him.